Yo, what's going on, Hero Clash Squad? Welcome back to a brand new Due Diligence. Yes, Due Diligence is back, and we're kicking off with a brand new hero called Ruby, and this will symbolize the revitalization of the Due Diligence series, finishing off the God/Voiders and any new hero that comes in the future. So, without further ado, let's get our free 2-day trial with her. Let's go. She should be maxed out after this. Let's go, baby. Okay, here we go. So, first things first, she is a beastskin / priest. Here we go. Let's do it. Core skill numero uno. Delicacy Burst. Heals all allies for 20% of her HP with 15% chance to grant allied heroes 1 stack of concentration. The question is, what is concentration? If the hero is affected by CC, remove 1 stack of concentration to dispel the CC. Max 2 stacks, last 3 turns. Extremely OP. I think it's awesome. Level 2, increase the chances to grant concentration to allies in the same row to 100%. Now, I'm not sure if this is a typo or something. Level 3 goes, increase the chance to grant concentration to allies not in the same row to 30%. That's a huge difference. So in the same row, aka the back row, if you put it in the back row, then 100% guaranteed they're getting concentration, but the front row would only get 30% chance, which usually is I guess, yeah, I can see it. Level 2 is where it's at, just saying, okay? Not bad at all. Moving on to our second core skill we have is Hunger Dispeller. Has a 50% chance to cast Hunger Begone after an ally attacks, healing 1 random allied hero for 10% of her HP. Yo, y'all should already know. Say it with me. HP, HP, HP. Level 2 has a 100% chance to cast Hunger Begone whenever an enemy casts a CC skill, including active and passive skills. Can be triggered up to twice per turn. Oof. Level 3 has a 20% chance to grant 1 stack of concentration to the target when casting Hunger Begone. Level 4 restores 15 energy when casting Hunger Begone. Let's go. Moving on to her good old basic Vigorous Vitality. Ruby enhances her basic attacks to attack all enemies in the front row, dealing 120% of attack as damage and healing 2 random allied heroes for 2% of her HP, which is going to go up with the levels. Level 2, deal 180% of attack as damage and heals 2 random allied heroes for 4% of HP. And level 3, 240% of attack as damage, and then 2 random allies will receive 6% of HP. That's not gonna lie, so for every 10 million HP she has, that's the equivalent of 600,000 HP. Now remember, it's saying HP, not max HP. So as of right now, I'm assuming if she starts off with a max HP of 30 million, but she gets dropped down by porcelain or something, let's say to 10 million, when this 6% kicks in, it's going to kick in from the calculation of her current HP. That's how I am reading this, but yeah, okay? Otherwise, it would say max HP. Moving on to Timely Serving, which means you're going to want her in the back row. That's what I'm trying to say. Timely Serving, here we go. Whenever Ruby takes action, including casting Hunger Begone, she increases the crit damage of allies in her row by 2% for 2 turns, up to 6 stacks. See, she's 100% a back row hero, especially if you're going against Sophia or Porcelina. 100%. She's definitely a back row hero. I cannot wait to get to her armor and stuff. Level 2, increase crit damage by 4% / 6 stacks. Level 3, 6% crit damage up to 6 stacks. And level 4, which I'm assuming would be 9 legendary relics, or it could be 3. You know, the core skill could be 9. Either or. You'll know when you get her to Transcendent, I believe. Level 4, increase crit damage by 8% up to 6 stacks. That is extremely amazing. So, in a perfect realm, your hero could be getting 8 times 6, 48% crit damage increase. So I could definitely see her being paired up with, you know, Sparta or Sophia or Porcelina or Phoenix. I guess the top 5 biggest heroes in the game, you know, she could be right along as a support hero depending on who the enemy is, okay? Her Awakening skill, when HP falls below 50% for the first time, increase debuff resistance by 30% and received healing by 50% for 3 turns. Cake-a-doodles, okay? And let's just check out, let's go to her this real quick. Here we go. Foodie's Joy. At the start of the turn, has a 30% chance to remove all CC effects from the hero. Level 10, 50% chance to remove all CC effects. Level 20, 80% chance to remove all CC effects, which this is extremely important to get her to level 30 to level 40. Level 30, when the hero is affected by CC, immediately dispel the CC. Bro, jeez Louise. After an enemy hero attacks, if there are 2 or more allies affected by CC, dispel all CC effects from allied heroes. Has a 3-turn cooldown. Wow. Level 30 is what makes her extremely OP for certain scenarios. But level 40, at the start of the battle, permanently increase the attack of a unit in the same room by 15%. Yo, man, like, Hero Clash is learning. The devs are learning. This was probably supposed to be some throwaway hero that just put in to break up the good hero from the good hero every quarter or by quarter or whatever. But now they're learning, like, okay, we can't have just some crazy, crappy hero. Let's get someone who is decent enough to where she is useful in the future, and she is 100% useful in the future. Get her to legendary and then waiting for her to hit the S+ cards. Not even S+ cards. I would wait for her to get the puzzle pieces. That's when I would take her up, in my personal opinion. But anyways, really quick, so focusing on, let's go with talents first. Based on what I just read, I'm gonna have to slap on good old Esper Shield. I think Esper Shield is the move, and then yeah, Esper Shield is the move. Moving on to mythic talents, I'm going to have to go with either Vital Armor or Selfless Protection. Now, it all comes down to who you are going against. It all comes down to your strategy. Do you have a damage reduction strategy? Do you have, I'm going to end the enemy team in 2 turns strategy? Obviously, if you're going to end the enemy team in 2 turns, you're probably going to want to go with, Selfless Protection or something. It just all comes down to what the strategy is between these 2, Vital Armor and Selfless Protection. Okay, now moving on to good old Transcendent talents. Now, there's a whole bunch of these. You could choose Violent Recovery or Excess Heal. You could even take it a step further if you have a whole bunch of shields, Wilderness on your side of the field. You have some type of, revitalization of HP when it comes, let's say Selena or something. Then you could probably skip Violent Recovery and go with Cathexis or something, gain 30% CC resistance. You do not want her to get CC'd. You do not want her to get CC'd, or she is absolutely useless. And her getting CC'd is atrocious. Yes, when she gets CC'd, in Skyline Realm, it's like, oh man, she's a dead weight. like a bricked cell phone. Like, oh man, I just got scammed. Just a weight. Other than that, when it comes to her strategy, you could rock out Excess Heal, and then, it all just comes down to what kind of healing properties you have on your side of the field. Okay? So I'd probably go with Violent Recovery based on crit. If not, then I'll go with Cathexis. Moving on to good old Eternal Talents. I think Rampart is where it's at. Gain a shield equal to 10% of HP, then grant the same shield to allies in the same column. I think that's absolutely OP right there, 10%. You have to get her HP up to 30, 35, 40 million. Up there with Fagin and Ruth Cave and everything. So, yep, I said cave. Sure did. Cave. Carve. Come on, devs. Cave! Okay, so now moving on to, let's do armor really quick. When it comes to her armor, what do I recommend? Y'all should already know, HP/damage reduction. Now, you could have a small emphasis on speed, but it literally comes down to what your strategy is. I can see speed, being higher up on importance if you want to get those heals off early, or you want to get the hunger going, or you want to get the whatever her core skill thing was. Then you can see her going first, because when she does a basic, then she's going to heal, allies for 6% of HP. And you kind of want her to go earlier than later, because if she goes later, say she gets hit by Phoenix for 20 million, now she's down to 10 million. 6%, that's that's 1.2 million HP gone if she just would have went first. And I'm not saying, put a whole bunch of speed into her, but I'm saying just keep that in the back of your mind when it comes to building her and building a good team strategy. There's hundreds, if not thousands of strategies you can use, especially with her. So number 1, I'm going to go with HP. Number 2, damage reduction if you don't have anything else. And then 3, try to get HP/speed on her. Okay? Now, when it comes to artifacts, let's go Esper. Now, there's actually a few you could choose. You could go at Time Amulet, increased received healing. You're getting the 30% HP and damage reduction. I think that's money right there. And then I did see an interesting one down here. It's the Mountain Amulets. You get HP and armor. However, it's not the best move, but it's if you haven't maxed out, which I don't even have it maxed out, so. And I refuse to put dollars into that. But I probably would go with Time Amulet. You could argue Sun Amulet just a tad bit, but I think Time is where it's at. Okay. Moving on to good old Holy Praise. Now, the sky is the limit when it comes to. There's so many you could choose from. You could go with Angel Headband, which I would put that probably in like a B tier for her. You could go with the Eternal Cloak. You're getting the attack and HP. Now, this is probably like a C tier. It's one of those artifacts you just have laying around and no one else. And like, oh, I just built Ruby. Well, who can I put on her? You know, then Eternal Cloak, I guess. However, I think the number one answer. Now, you're probably going to be shocked what the number one answer is. If you just take a wild guess. And no, it's not Holy Wings. Now, you could make an argument for Holy Wings. I'd probably put that at B or A tier for Holy Wings. However, what I think is straight S+ tier, 100% without a shadow of doubt, Holy Horn. Yes, you're like, what, Holy Horn? Well, she's automatically going to be in the back row alongside Porcelina / Sophia or Porcelina Phoenix, some type of OP attack strategy. So not only when it comes to her gear skill of getting, you know, increasing attack by 15% in the same row. However, well, you have the Holy Horn that does the exact same thing. Gain 20% attack and 10% armor penetration. Increase the attack and armor pen of allies in the same row. So you're pretty much aligning them just right. And I think it would be an OP strategy. Then you have that CC property with her that also is going to protect, you know, Phoenix. Not so much Porcelina because she already has a CC protection on her through her abilities, but pretty much who is on her left hand side, Phoenix, Sophia. I think that is key. Now, moving on to Abyss artifacts, good old Abyss artifacts. Now, there's actually a few you could go with. However, you know, you could argue Eye of Destruction. Let's see, you could go with Cursed Book. I think Cursed Book would be a really good one. Attack, HP, damage reduction. You kind of want to focus on an item that has damage reduction. And you could go with Devil's Heart. And, you know, I would Devil's Shield, not so much. I think that's better off on Cave or Fagin or something. Someone who's going to absorb, you know, damage from your team. So, I would probably just stick with Heart. Or you could make an argument for Flag. But Flag, it just comes down to what shields you're going to have on the field as well. So, if it's laying around, then sure. But honestly, I could see Devil's Wings, yo. So S tier, I'm going to give Devil's Wings on her / let's see what else. What was the other one I said? I forgot already. Yeah, Cursed Book or Devil's Wings. I think those are the top two, in my opinion, as of right now. Okay? So is there anything I've missed before we get to the gems? Let's see. So, geez Louise, she's like naked. Oh, yeah, runes. Jesus, I almost forgot. Here we go. So, when it comes to good old runes, baby. So, we're going to pretend this is Ruby so we can just go through the selection list. When it comes to runes, 100% defense, defense, defense. So, obviously, you're going to have that go with good old evolution. 100% evolution is key. And then when it comes to the secondary, I'm probably going to have to go with Banshee, man. I think Banshee is the move. When HP falls below 20%, recover 20% of HP, can only be triggered once. I think that's the move right there. And then you also have a 60% chance to send some of that attack back to the enemy at 50% damage taken. So it's actually extremely amazing for her. However, if you're looking to go 3, 4, 5 rounds and you want to preserve her, then I 100% would slap on Phantom. 100% Phantom is the move wherever it's at. I can't find it. There's so many. Right here, Phantom, yeah. And then, you know, if you have Guardian laying around, I guess Guardian's not too bad. But honestly, I'd definitely go with Phantom. Now, let's see. Could you do Sage? Not really, because she's a back row hero. I guess if the enemy doesn't have Porcelina, then you could make a very small argument for her to be in the front row, left side or right side with Sage. with someone behind her. But I just don't see that, you know, being the move. You could make an argument for it, but just, you know. And then, yeah, so Rune's taken care of. Good to go, baby. Now we get to, I hope I'm not missing anything. I hope not. Good old gems, baby. Let's go. So now when it comes to her gems, let's go to Merge Gem and Gem Codex. When it comes to the light stones, I 100% recommend good old Galaxy Stone, getting that HP and attack 100%, right? For Dark Stone, I would recommend, I honestly would go with Dragonstone. Get that HP and that speed. You're knocking out both. However, if speed isn't a priority for your strategy, then I would definitely go with Orchid. Get that HP and crit. Get her crit kind of up, so maybe you can get that double recovery or something like that. Okay. Other than that, HP-wise, I don't see anything else that would be good for her. So when it comes to the mixed gems, I would creep up here and choose... Ooh, man, that's a good one. What would I choose? I kind of want to go with HP again. But who would you choose, though? Honestly, I would choose... I would double up on Orchid and double up on Dragon. Yeah, so you're getting the huge HP bonus. And then for the... Yep, so then you're getting... Jeez, was 28% HP increase. And then up here, you get another 42%. Jeez Louise. 42% HP increase. Choosing those three. I think that would be the move. But then again, it comes down to your strategy, etc. Okay. Now, going back to her talents, or down here, whatever they're called. Now, what would I choose for the skill? Let's see. At the start of the turn, if energy is full, recover 5% max HP. That's actually not bad. This one's not bad because that means on average, she's going to get a full energy bar on round 2. And then 5% of, let's say, 10 million HP is 500,000. But if you have 30 million HP, that's 1.5 million. Not too bad. However, at the start of the next turn, after an attack, increase damage reduction 50% for one turn, effective after attacking. I think that's kind of crummy in my personal opinion, especially if you're going to be focusing on speed and everything. So I think charged healing is the move for round 2. Or you could go with reduce AoE damage by 15%. One of those two. The top one, yeah, it's 15%, but the issue is it disappears after attacking. So what happens if you have a high speed? Now, if you have a very low speed and she's going, 9th, 10th, or 11th, yeah, sure, you could go with strength defense, but this would all come down to what her speed is. And yeah. Moving back to healing prayer. What is this one for all 6-star gems or whatever, 5-star gems? When casting an active skill, gain a mark of healing, 2-turn cooldown. Choose 2 allies with the highest attack, increasing their damage reduction by 15%. When their HP drops below 50%, the mark of healing on them is consumed, and they immediately recover 50% of max HP. Cannot stack. That is interesting. Holy Shield, when an ally gains a shield, increase max HP by 1%, increasing up to 40 times. Holy Smite, when an ally recovers HP for the first time each turn, reducing the healing and strength shield of Holy Smite is where it's at. Yes, please. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. When an ally recovers HP for the first time each turn, reduce the healing and shield strength of 2 random enemies by 25%, lasting 2 turns and stacking up to 2 times. Oh, baby. Remember, when an ally recovers HP, so guess what? If you have Selene on your side, everyone's getting HP. Even with herself, she's able to recover 2 random allies, so that's 2 right there. Yo, Holy Smite, baby, let's go. Too easy. Let's go. Okay, and I think that is it. I think that's her. My personal opinion, my final thoughts. Like I said, I do think she's one of those heroes where I'm definitely going to take advantage of when it comes to the limited offer. Not that. Where's it at? Right here. Here we go. Right here. But I think this is just as far as I'll take her. Probably get her to, if I get lucky, legendary plus. If I don't get lucky, then I get her to legendary. But outside of that, once you get her to legendary, then I would just highly recommend waiting until she hits the puzzle pieces or even legendary duel or whatever. And yeah, I don't think she's worth spending an S plus card on because you're gonna have poor Selene in those S plus cards, or Natalie or Phoenix or something. So definitely skip the S plus cards when it comes to her. But my final thoughts, again, I think she's really good in certain specific scenarios. It's just there's other heroes that are better to fill that back slot with good old Holy Horn or something. However, if you know you're going against someone who just loves the CC, she's your girl. It's just that simple. And my biggest complaint is, yo, Hero Clash, put some more clothes on her, yo. It's 2024. Greatness manifested.